Okay, Aaron, we've got the transmission out of your Equinox and we brought it up to our rebuilding center up in our Roseville shop. And here it is on the teardown bench. You can see there's literally hundreds of parts involved with it. And this is Jeff. He's our resident transmission rebuilder, and Jeff is going to explain to you what we found and what we're going to have to do to get it back up on the road.
Hi Aaron, I'll give you kind of a quick run through on what I found and what we need to do to fix it and get you back going again. As you can see, there's many parts inside your transmission. There's hydraulic parts, friction parts, and mechanical parts, and we have to fix a little bit on all three of those. So here, for example, this is your filter and pickup for the hydraulic system, and this is actually a round magnet, kind of a donut. And if you can see all that metal contamination on there, that's all finely ground up metal there. So that's a big indicator that we have a mechanical failure. Upon disassembly of the unit, I find out where that metal came from. And in your case, it came from this, it's called a wave spring. And this wave spring, as you can see, is broken up into a few different pieces. So that definitely has to be fixed. What happens, this wave is for the reverse and 3/5 clutch, and so when this breaks, the piston no longer has the throw that it has to apply the reverse clutch. So that's how you end up with no reverse. This is a common problem with these units. There's an upgraded part for these, which I install, and you also had another one that was going. This one's for the low reverse clutch, and this one's got a crack in it here. So now if this one would have broke, or if you would have drove it a little longer, you would have had catastrophic failure. I'm sure now it looks pretty catastrophic, but when these little pieces get inside the gears here, then it totally damages the gears, it blows them up, it cracks them in half, it breaks teeth off. Then we'd be looking at a whole nother transmission. At this point we can fix yours. Like I said, putting in updated wave plates. I put them in all the locations. Just to be on the safe side. They've all been upgraded. Like I said, it's a common problem. So that's what got you here. This is the 3/5 drum, and the wave spring that is really broken up actually goes around here, and this piston here applies the clutch. Well, from the wave spring jingling around here, it gouged out the drum, almost cut it in half actually. So we need to replace that drum. That drum's attached to the input shaft here, so we need to put one of those in. And because of all the metal contamination, your computer's controlled by, or your vehicle's controlled by a computer. Actually, it receives input from the vehicle itself. But this is your TCM, or transmission control module, here on the solenoid board. There's many different solenoids that do the hydraulic operations in here. And because solenoids are electromagnets, they will also draw that fine metal inside of them, causing them to stick or short out electrically. So because of all that, I do replace this solenoid board on every one of these units that has this type of damage. So the TCM we reuse, we have the scan tool or computer capabilities to reset it so it conforms or matches your vehicle, and that makes everything good to go in the electronics department. Other than that, we have an overhaul kit. Overhaul kit has all the new friction plates for the various clutches in here. There's many sets in your transmission. It has all the gaskets and seals that are required to fix it up. Has these new molded pistons. There's one here, there's one here, there's two in here. Everything gets totally washed through a big washing machine and blown off of there, so it's oil free, dust free, the best we can without being in a hospital environment. So but that'll pretty much get you on road. All the other parts are good, the bearings are good. Another component we need to replace is a torque converter, pretty much for the same reason, the metal contamination. This is a fluid coupling that goes between the engine and transmission. This side bolts to the crankshaft of the engine, and this goes into the transmission part of it. drives the oil pump, and the input shaft goes in here. So we replace that with a remanufactured unit that's been cut open, cleaned. There's also a clutch in there like the other clutches that gets replaced, or bearings get checked, and everything else. So and that'll get you back on the road and good for many more miles. So now with that, I thank you for your time, and
Thanks, Jeff.